right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. My name is Gabriel Jaramillo. I'm the Director of Health and Communities with the Vitalist Health Foundation. I'm joined here by Kevin Volk, who is founder, creator, developer of Vivablox, one of our highlighted promising practices partnerships that we have not only highlighted in our printed material, but also an extension onto our website as well. So if you wanted to see more information about our promising practices throughout the state of Arizona, please check out our website on our housing page. But right now, we really wanted to have a conversation with Kevin and understand what makes Vivablox an innovative practice and his process for creating affordable and sustainable housing here in the state. Kevin?
Thank you for the introduction, Gabriel. Thanks for having me on the Promising Practices resource group. I think it's a really great effort to show the innovative things that are already happening around the state. So Vivablox was founded by myself and my two partners in December of 2020. I had been involved in housing for lower income folks and folks on fixed incomes, Section 8 housing choice voucher eligible residents previously. We were able back before the run-up in multifamily prices to acquire multifamily properties at a really low basis and then invest into making units livable or rehabbing units. And still our basis was so low that we could turn around and rent those at Section 8 or fair market rent levels. And it was still sustainable for us financially. And we were able to provide that product to folks with housing choice vouchers or anyone who came across our property in the private market. So that was a really great way down in Tucson to be able to provide or to add to the housing stock. We were able to add hundreds of units to the housing stock here in Tucson. Again, restore units to being safe and clean and livable from previously uninhabitable conditions. Convert units, do a variety of things that ended up adding to the affordable housing stock with no direct government funding, completely privately, and then make those available to Section 8, Section 8 and veteran housing choice voucher recipients as well, which we were thrilled to do. With the run-up in prices, those opportunities to buy cheap enough to do that went away. So with the valuations being so high, I started to think, what else can we do? And that's where we came up with prefabrication of housing as one of the few things that offers the promise of delivering true affordability, which I define as how much something costs to build, not how much it seems to the ultimate tenant or resident, but how much something costs to build. How do we drive down that cost? If we can drive down the cost of developing housing, then more housing will happen naturally. More housing will be available to jurisdictions like cities and towns. More housing will be available to nonprofits. Private market will develop more housing because it will be easier to develop more units at a lower cost. So I had come across a very sophisticated, creative general contractor years ago who showed me plans for a shipping container that had been converted to a studio residential unit. And that had always stuck in my mind. So we reconnected and brought in my brother, who is an expert in construction, large scale construction that gets really complicated. So we had a very construction and real estate heavy background coming into this and wanted to put together a really nice unit and come up with the design, get it all architect designed and engineer checked, and then actually build a prototype to make sure that we were right about the constructability. So that's how we got into this. Other people have converted shipping containers. You know, folks have done everything from building a mansion out of multiple shipping containers to using shipping containers for storage or small offices. It's been done before, but I think what makes us unique is our focus where we came at this, which is from a goal of providing housing as affordably as possible in the construction and real estate background. So we're focused on deliverability. We are not focused at this point on pushing the needle on technology. we've seen too many prefabricated housing companies get a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, raise money, have a lot of media coverage, and then not actually deliver many units. So we're trying to address it from a completely different angle there. So that's how we came to shipping containers. The other reason is shipping containers will always be around as long as the international shipping industry uses them. There will always be these used containers that can either be thrown away or melted down, which is extremely energy intensive, or they can be upcycled. So we love the idea of taking something that's got a lot of embedded carbon and upcycling it to a use that helps address our housing crisis, which I've been focused on and concerned about for years and years and years. So that's how we kind of came to that's how we created the company. That's our background. And that's how we got to be where we are, which is with the stage right before we'll be able to release the unit for sale to the broader public.
Very nice. So I just wanted to highlight some of the things that you had mentioned. One of which was even before you were developing the container homes as a cost-efficient way of development. Within development, you and your partners had already been working to provide affordability through market rate and partnering with individuals and families that take a variety of housing vouchers. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. So this different partnership was involved in the previous projects, but the two partners I have now have both been very concerned about housing affordability in their own rights. Our general contractor partner has actually done hundreds and hundreds of hotel to apartment conversions. So he's been on the front lines of creative solutions to adding housing as well. But we all shared the ethos that from all our different perspectives, I have something of a public service and more financial and real estate background. There's obviously a construction backgrounds in our team. So from different angles, we've all come up with our frustrations about why housing is not more affordable. And there are a lot of good reasons that housing costs money and a lot of money to put together. There's a reason for a lot of the cost of developing a unit of housing. But we were also familiar with a lot of ideas for why that didn't have to necessarily translate into totally unaffordable housing costs that just go up and up and up. And we were all excited by the challenge of how do you come up with something that allows you to actually drive down the cost of housing and make it possible for more folks to build more of it.
That's amazing. Thank you. Now, I know I've had the pleasure of going down to Tucson and touring one of the prototypes that you guys had available. I was excited to hear that you're moving through the process through the state, permitting and licensing and all that fun stuff and everything that has to go with that. But I understand you have you wanted to show some of the slides, or you have something to show?
Sure, absolutely.
Walk us through that.
So let me share my screen. So this is us, Vivablox. Our background, as I mentioned, we're focused on shipping containers, shipping containers were obviously not built for housing. So they're not perfect for housing, but they are available. It's a problem that our society needs to figure out what to do with all these used shipping containers that have gone through a useful life. And sometimes more than 10 years of being stacked on boats, shipped across the ocean, subject to every kind of condition you can imagine. So we wanted to get to a level of competency with shipping containers for that reason, but also they're extremely strong structurally and very flexible and a great place to start from prefabrication as long as they're not over modified structurally. Again, our background, construction and real estate, we're focused on units that it can actually be delivered, no unproven technology, but we do have a manufacturing mindset, which is vastly different from a site built, figure it out, modify it when you're there mindset. We will be focused on streamlining every part of the process to minimize construction waste and ensure the highest quality. So the design goal of the container that you saw, and even further extent to the goal of the new prototype, the new floor plan, is for it to be environmentally safe. So we've partnered with a national contractor to ensure that all of our units will be tested to be environmentally safe, no matter what their background. Code compliant in international residential code and all the associated trade codes, electrical, plumbing, energy, etc. Ready for the elements, so fully insulated with spray foam insulation, the most effective form of insulation for our value. Comfortable with adequate heating and cooling, but really depending a lot on that insulation to make sure, even though it's a metal box on the outside, we've got a cool roof and we've got more than sufficient insulation and dual pane windows to ensure that it's comfortable in a variety of climates. Finally, environmentally friendly, the fact that it's upcycled waste essentially, and also is a small space that is efficient to cool and efficient with efficient water fixtures as well. So where we are is we built a prototype to test our constructability, test our theories in terms of what we thought was going to be possible, and make sure we hadn't missed anything. We are licensed as a dealer and a manufacturer through Arizona Department of Housing. We have had our manufacturing process approved by Arizona Department of Housing, and we just had our floor plan approved by Arizona Department of Housing. The final step is manufacturer certification, in which we will build our new floor plan unit under the supervision of an inspector, and then we will be clear to sell to the public or nonprofit and other developer partners. This is a group of photos of the existing prototype unit based on the old floor plan. It's quite a different plan, but you can tell that even though it's a shipping container, it's a total of 8 feet wide. We've got this kind of long living space that still has a good feel to it and allows some social interaction between two people who live there, or between friends who come over, hangout area. And this is just really designed to show, this was really just a test case for constructability, but we're happy with the way it turned out. That said, we're very excited about the improvements that our new floor plan has. So this is our recently Arizona Department of Housing approved floor plan, more of an efficiency unit, where you have the sleeping area to the plan west, the living area in the middle. So there's a flexibility on how much room someone wants their sleeping area to take versus the living area. The living area is integrated with the kitchen area with a peninsula and overhang, and then a much larger bathroom than our previous model, with a good sized shower, vanity, toilet, and area for a combo washer dryer hookup. The refrigerator is pretty good size. It's not a full size refrigerator as you'd find in a 3,000 square foot single family home, but it's a good size. We've got an electric cooktop, which is really sleek, microwave, and that kind of rounds it out. The entry doors are actually double glass doors, and then we've got a large window for the bedroom sleeping area portion, and another window out the bathroom, another in the kitchen. So get some good cross light while still retaining enough wall space to be able to hang artwork, TV, etc. Here are some renderings. So the first one is from plan west, looking towards the center of the unit, sleeping area, and we've just shown potential closet furniture, providing a divider. So that sleeping area has that big window. This is from the kitchen, looking at the living area, and then the bathroom, one side of the bathroom. So again, not a huge unit, but self-contained, and our goal is on affordability, to be the cheapest option in terms of monetary cost for getting a unit built that is still built to a high level of quality and designed to be durable.
Very nice. Are you well, I guess what's the expected time frame for these to hit the market?
Our best guess, based on our understanding of Arizona Department of Housing timelines for manufacturing certification, is, and this is hopefully somewhat conservative, is to really get going on full-on marketing in the beginning of the year.
Very nice.
And so would you like me to keep going in the presentation? Just a couple more.
We got a couple more minutes if you want to.
Yeah.
Do you want? Yeah. So do you want to? All right. So we'll set this up. We can keep going with the presentation. We want to wrap it up here in the next 2-3 minutes at the most.
Sounds good.
Go through the remaining and then let everybody know how they can get a hold of you or website or whatever you want to leave.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's an interesting shape. It's very long and skinny. But one of the great things about that, we've done some very conceptual site plans, but it's incredible how many units you can fit in some different scenarios. So this is a rendering of a 1-acre property with an existing structure where the goal would be to repurpose the structure, but then add housing units. And so even in less than 20,000 square feet of land, we can accommodate 17 units here. This is another very small piece of vacant land in between 2 existing structures, so extremely limited space, but we can still fit 8 units and a common area and parking within well under 15,000 square feet of land. This is a detail unit, so the units can be modified for different climate zones. This one has a sloped roof add-on and a deck add-on because it's more of a cold climate where we need to worry about snow load. So that would be an additional cost, but that modification can absolutely be made. And this is a 1-acre site where it can accommodate 26 units, private parking for each unit, a small common area, dumpsters, all within 1 acre of land, using some access with the neighboring property. And so this is kind of a rendering of just the basic container with a cool roof and painted, and this just becomes a very efficient solution to adding a bunch of housing units affordably, in a way that gives each person or each couple their own private space. And so that's it for the presentation. My name is Kevin Volk. I can be reached at kevin@vivablox.com, KEVIN@VIVABLOX.com. And happy to talk to anyone who has interest in our units or just in prefabrication in general. I think it's one of the few ways we can really drive down costs of developing housing.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate it. And again, Kevin and Vivablox are part of our Promising Practices workshop or our publication, and we'll continue to expand on Arizona's Promising Practices. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Gabriel.